lives are very important to us. Please hold on, and our program will begin shortly. The Soundcheck podcast is coming up. Please continue to hold. Keep up with the Soundcheck podcast and everything that's happening in the New Sounds empire. Just go to newsounds.org and follow us on social media. All of the icons are in the top right corner of the page. All of our other musicians are currently playing for other customers. Please stay with us, and someone will play for you in just a moment.
I don't gamble 'cause I want to win, boys. I gamble 'cause I need to lose. I need to lose. I need to lose. I need to lose. I need to lose.
From newsounds.org, this is the Soundcheck podcast. It's our series of live in-studio performances, streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. I'm John Schaefer. The Devil Makes Three is a trio that has long taken a punk approach to American roots music, bluegrass, barrelhouse blues, early rock and roll, and the like. They have built up a large and enthusiastic following through relentless touring, but they do occasionally pop into the studio to make a record. Their brand new album is this one, called Chains Are Broken, and it brings the band, The Devil Makes Three, back to our studio, and they're going to start us off by playing the title track.
All right.
1, 2, 3. We would get drunk and start to fight. Go out looking on a Saturday night. You had me running like it was for my life, drinking down fumes like that neon light. But now its chains are broken, I've been set free. I was blind, now I see that when you're treated like a dog, that's how you start to behave. You're gonna miss me like the masters miss them. Yeah, we take pills and hope to die, sing ourselves a suicidal lullaby. Nobody driving in one passenger side. You made me the master of the long goodbye. But now its chains are broken, I've been set free. I was blind, now I see that when you're treated like a dog, that's how you start to behave. You're gonna miss me like the masters miss their I could die of fright. Felt like I'd fallen from the greatest height. I said, I don't need no glasses, I got perfect hindsight. I say we pray for lightning and hold on to this kite till its chains are broken, I've been set free. I was blind, now I see that when you're treated like a dog, that's how you start to behave. You're gonna miss me like the masters miss their You're gonna miss me like the masters miss there. You're gonna miss me like the masters miss there.
The band is The Devil Makes Three, live in our studio, and that is the title track from their new album, Chains Are Broken. As ever, Pete Bernhard playing guitar and singing, Lucia Torino playing the double bass, the upright bass, and singing, Cooper McBean singing and playing, what is that, Cooper? That's a resonator guitar
This
of
is
some
a
sort.
resonator guitar. I don't usually get to play this one. This one belongs to Pete, and it's
It's a 1935.
tis.
Now, a resonator guitar, Pete, is it's like the acoustic version of an electric guitar, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the most electric guitar you can possibly play without actually playing an electric guitar. It's like the precursor to the electric guitar.
So it has what looks like an inverted pie plate, a metal pie plate where the sound hole would be.
Yeah, exactly. That's the speaker.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's where the rock and roll comes out of.
It's very loud.
Kind of why it sounds a bit like a tin can.
Yes, it's very loud.
So you guys have a little bit in this lineup, in this configuration. You have a little bit of balancing to do, right? You need to be listening, and because we're not amplifying what you guys are doing here today. It's just microphones in front of the instruments. So, but the record, Pete, is another affair entirely. I mean, it sounds very plugged in.
Yeah.
You've got a drummer, Stefan Amadon, brother of Sam Amadon, well-known folk singer, multi-instrumentalist. And so the sound here is a lot more rockin'.
Yeah, it really is. Definitely. I mean, this is how we play when we're rehearsing, actually, what we're doing for you here today. And yeah, it does involve a lot more. It's just, you just have to tune in and listen very, very closely. And when we recorded the record, it was a different thing. We went for, it was a lot louder and a lot more plugged in, which is always like, it's fun to make a record.
Yeah.
And we used the studio as much as we possibly could. We actually got Stefan to play piano, some very simple piano parts.
And Mellotron.
Yeah, he played that as well. Yeah, so we had fun in there. It was basically the three of us and Stefan, but we got as creative as we possibly could.
So were you trying to, you are a live band. Were you trying to capture the feel of, were you all in the studio at the same time as opposed to putting down drum tracks first?
Well, we did it in a way we've never recorded a record before, where we actually did what we're doing right now, but we would take like Stefan and Lucia's bass and drum track, and then we would build on that. And then me and Cooper would build on that, and then on top of that, we'd build the vocal track. So it was sort of like we tried to get the live sound by us all playing together.
Yeah.
But we used only what was really, really solid and then moved on. So it was like a way to not make it feel isolated. We're all used to playing together. So we were doing basically what we're doing right now, but then we sort of built a building out of it.
Well, now, a couple of years ago, you guys put out a record not of your own music, but of covers, Redemption and Ruin, which was, it seemed to serve a couple of purposes. One was to sort of introduce us to music that meant a lot to you guys. Is this, so it was like old, like folk gospel numbers and folk spiritual things and stuff like that, but very, very dark.
Yeah.
We kind of our thing.
Yeah. We kind of can't help it, no matter how hard we try. Yeah, it was very, very dark. It was sort of the concept of Redemption and Ruin was to do a side, like a vinyl record, do a side of gospel songs and a side of Ruin songs, like party songs and hard luck songs.
Champagne and Reefer,
right,
for example.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a really fun project. And it's just sort of a little hero worship for us.
Now, is that the music that you guys grew up hearing?
A lot of it was music I grew up hearing, and a little bit for Cooper.
Yeah.
I grew up on the Police and the Pretenders and the Talking Heads and the Beatles, and there was a little, like the closest in my family would be Woody Guthrie. My dad was a huge Woody Guthrie fan, but and a lot of classical music in my household. But I learned about a lot of the old American music, and especially like bluegrass and country from these guys. I didn't grow up with it at all.
So with the double bass there, can you play, Mozart or von Dietersdorf or...
Oh, no.
Yeah, she does it all the time.
All the time. I wish. If only I had started playing as a small child.
Yeah. But for you guys, so this was like in the air?
Cooper's mom was in a Western swing band.
Yeah, my dad was in a jug band in high school, so they have a great record collection. And
where was this?
This was in Vermont.
In Brattleboro?
I grew up in Putney.
Oh, okay.
Pete grew up in Marlboro. Lucia grew up in Halifax. They're all teeny little towns.
Right. Putney is where Landmark College is.
Exactly,
yeah.
I'm about 5 or 6 miles away from there.
Okay. So, I mean, Vermont has long been this kind of folk music haven. The Amadon family, the parents of Sam and Stefan, made a groundbreaking recording for the None Such Explorer series back in the 70s of shape note, sacred harp singing.
Right. Yeah. They were like the local rock stars.
They were. They were folk music rock stars when we were kids.
We can get you Stefan's autograph.
We can if you want it. We could probably get that for you.
Brush with greatness. Yes. So, I guess then the second part of the redemption and ruin thing, in addition to the hero worship, was you also got to get really deep inside the mechanics of these old songs.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering what, if anything, that did for you when it came time to write your next batch of songs.
Well, I think one of the things I said to Cooper, we were hanging out when we were recording, was some of the songs that we were doing on that album were so depressing. And like singing them, you're almost like, I don't feel like I should be singing this because I don't think I've ever been that like low in my whole life. Especially some of those blues songs that we did. But strangely enough, I think it just influenced making this album even darker than maybe the one before. I think that's the main influence it had. Yeah, it just inspired me to write sadder songs and maybe more emotional songs. Yeah.
Well, the one you're going to do next, Paint My Face, I mean, when I first saw that title, I thought maybe it was like, a woman putting on makeup, but then I got a very Braveheart kind of...
Yeah. It's more of a war paint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to play this?
Yeah, I was going to say, though, actually, sometimes putting on makeup for women is sort of like war paint. It is. It's like our little mask of protection.
Yeah.
So, that's how it is for when I put it on for a show, anyways.
Well, the band is the Devil Makes Three. The record is called Chains Are Broken. Brand new album, out today. Tonight, the band is playing and signing records at Rough Trade here in New York and Brooklyn. They're playing for us on this edition of the Soundcheck Podcast. Let's hear Paint My Face.
1, 2, 3.
Come paint my face, come take my hand. I do not wish you to understand. Someday you too will go to war, and by that time may you not fear death anymore. Fortune may hold you, she's not your friend. Kind words spoken, bows deep bend. Foulest creature may wear the sweetest smile. Oh, do not fear, now I will see you in a while. Come paint my face, come take my hand. I do not wish you to understand. Someday you too will go to war, and by that time may you not fear death anymore. Eyes upon you through the years, all of your troubles, all of your fears, always watching, always see. I am you now and you are me. If I should fall, you take my soul. All that is mine will be yours. Do not fear for those we leave behind. The blood that runs in your veins, it is mine. Come paint my face, come take my hand. I do not wish you to understand. Someday you too will go to war, and by by that time may you not fear death anymore. And by that time may you not fear death anymore. I am a stone falling through black water. On the bottom I start again. I am a stone falling through black water. My fall, it never ends. My fall, it never ends. Come paint my face, come take my hand. I do not wish you to understand. Someday you too will go to war, and by that time may you not fear death anymore. Come paint my face, come take my hand. I do not wish you to understand. Someday you too will go to war, and by that time may you not fear death anymore. And by that time may you not fear death anymore. And by that time may you not fear death anymore.
Paint My Face is the name of the song. The Devil Makes Three, playing live in our new sound studio on this edition of the Soundcheck Podcast, our live in studio series. Follow us on Facebook to see and hear all of the live music we do here in this room in Lower Manhattan. So when you guys are touring this brand new album, which you will be doing shortly, will it be plugged in?
Yes.
And
Yes.
will you have a drummer?
Yes.
We will. Yeah, we'll have a drummer, and we'll have our friend Kellen probably playing baritone guitar and a little bit of fiddle. Yeah, we'll do that for sure.
It'll sound more like the recording.
Yeah, I think so.
But will there be, like in the old Led Zeppelin concerts, that moment where you strip back to an all-acoustic? Because I am loving this.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to do that. Yeah, we think there's some songs that sort of need it and some songs that don't. So we're going to do both.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's really fun, and it creates just a cool dynamic in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, that song, Paint My Face, with its repeated mentions of war and fear of death, I mean, it is a pretty dark song. On the other hand, it's also you kind of feel good listening to it, and I imagine you guys probably feel pretty good playing it.
Oh, yeah, it's great. It's really fun to play. It's actually one of my favorite songs to do live from the new record.
Yeah.
And I think the trick, even with those old blues songs, a lot of them, even when the lyrics are so dark, they all still feel good, and they have a groove, and you want to hear it even though it's dark. And I think
there's something therapeutic.
Yeah, and we want to do that. Like, this record is fun,
Yeah,
despite the subject
Despite
matter.
the subject matter. Despite the subject matter, it's very fun to listen to.
It is. It's a pretty up record.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people listen to everything from blues to black metal for that reason. That there's something exorcising.
Right.
Yeah, we are those people.
Yes, we are. You just described us.
Just described us perfectly.
So are you both blues and metalheads?
Yes.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, Cooper's probably the biggest metalhead in the band, but we all like metal. Yeah, we all like sort of slow metal. Yes. Maybe Cooper could name some bands that he likes, but yeah, there's I think our musical choices are varied.
Very varied.
Well, that kind of explains what has become a little bit of a theme in our conversation now and last time you were here some years ago when you did the album I'm a Stranger Here, because I clearly remember one of you, and I think it was you, Pete, saying, this record's the darkest record we've ever done.
Oh, no. It's a theme.
Now here you guys are saying the same thing about Chains Are Broken.
I'd say, though, just subject matter-wise, I mean, Chains Are Broken is a much more up record than Stranger, I'd say. Like, the songs are... the feeling of the songs is more up.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
much more so.
it's much more propelled by what people will think of as rock rhythms.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
But, again, stripped down like this, you suddenly, you kind of lay bare the the bones of the song, and it becomes something really old sounding.
Yeah, I love it. I was just saying to Cooper and Lucia how, it's great to, because, we can't always do the full band thing, obviously, just because here we are in Manhattan and there's things to think about. It's hard to park a giant vehicle and stuff like that. And so when we need to go and do something on the radio or in a record store, it's just great to play the songs this way and they still feel great. You know? Yeah.
It's fun. I don't think we would have written the songs this way without the drums, but then to pull the drums out makes it sound really interesting.
Yeah, it does.
We never
It's cool.
would have written these songs this way without Steph in there.
Totally.
It really influenced it, but then you take it away and it changes. It's cool.
Yeah, it gave the songs
it's fun
all,
both ways. Like
gave the songs all different feels, which is really nice. Yeah.
So, but the band is still at heart a trio.
Yeah, definitely.
The devil if the devil makes three, what were 1 and 2?
That's a good question.
That is a very good question.
Yeah, what were 1 and 2? I don't know.
I don't know. Well, if you're talking about the Pixies, what is it? Man is 5, God is...
If man is 5, then God is... Then the devil is 6.
And God is 7.
If the devil
We
is
have a
6,
house
then God is
mathematician.
7.
Right, so now I'm really confused. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going
all
with
the way
Pixies.
back to 1.
For people who are scratching their heads, we're referencing Pixies' song "Monkey Gone to Heaven,"
Yes.
famous bit of cosmology that's dumped into the middle of that
Yes.
song.
Yeah.
But it also sounds like there's a passing reference, Pete, and I think it's on the song "Deep Down" to an old Easy Beat song.
I think
Monday, I've got Friday on my mind. Although you say Tuesday, I've got Friday on my
definitely.
mind.
Well, that's the song I wrote with my friend Kyle Thomas, who's actually also from Brattleboro, Vermont, and he plays in a band called King Tough. He just put out a record, which is really great. And we wrote that song together, and I would credit that line to Kyle. Actually, but I mean, it's a song. Yeah, it's a song that is definitely very heavily influenced by old blues and rock and roll songs.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to write a song with that beat, just because so much of what I grew up listening to, sort of jump blues kind of stuff, Chicago blues stuff,
Like Louis Jordan and people
yeah,
like that.
yeah, definitely. And I really liked Little Walter a lot.
Yeah.
And he was a big influence on that one for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because perhaps you guys have toured so constantly, you've often been kind of lumped in with the jam band scene.
Yeah, we have.
It seems like it's a pretty hospitable scene for
Yeah.
lots of different types
scene.
of music.
Yeah, it's a really great scene. We love playing those shows. As you can see by listening to us, we don't really jam.
Yeah, the only time it's bad is when another group is like, "Come jam with us,"
We're like,
and we're like,
we don't actually jam. We're like an acoustic version of the Ramones. You know? But we love the scene's great. We've had really great shows. We just went and played a similar live thing at Relics, and we've played great shows with bands in the jam scene. Definitely, yeah.
So when you guys do Bad Idea for us next, Cooper, you're not going to do a 20-minute resonator guitar solo for us?
Well,
He is
I had
this
trimmed
time.
it down to 15.
All right.
But if you insist,
We're actually just going to leave. It's going to be like a drum solo. 20-minute Freebird style solo.
All right. Well, let's hear it.
All right.
Let's hear what happens.
Here it comes.
It's a bad idea. It's the
definitely a
devil
bad idea.
the devil makes 3.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Tears into the ocean, alone there out at sea. We always were so stupid and so stubborn, you and me. We were drinking all that poison, hoping someone else would die. Throwing water on our faces, pretending we could cry. We rolled out with the river, learned to hate the shore. Our legs could not sit steady on the ground there anymore. We were leaning on the slack ropes, waiting for a fight. Pretending total darkness underneath hospital lights. Bad idea. You know I had to do it. Another bad idea. All over again. It's just bait inside the bed trap. Somebody's gonna lose a limb. Washing up like wreckage, why don't you go ruin him? him, he can have your marching orders. Lose his appetite. We've all got our angles, gotta keep them out of sight. Lies upon the doorstep, lined up like dominoes, fell into the arms of a stranger, forgot to wear your clothes. Well, the devil's in the pulpit, sure ain't in the grave, singing sweet songs of surrender while the way is being paved. Bad idea, you know I had to do it. Another bad idea, all over again. Yes it is, it's all over again. Water in the clouds, I cannot get my fill. I used to find salvation in these tiny little pills. Time to bore out that cylinder and fire a bigger shell. It'll be like family reunion when we all meet up in hell. Bad ideas, you know I had to do it. Another bad idea, all over again. Yes it is, it's all over again. Yes it is, all over again.
Bad Idea is the name of the song. The band is The Devil Makes Three, and I was wrestling with I really wanted to yell "Freebird" during
not be the first.
You would not be
during
the first,
Cooper's
sir.
brief solo. And if that solo had gone on another bar or two, I think I probably would have not been able to hold back any further. But
Oh my God! Yeah. That's Todd Snyder says that's the folk singer's revenge when somebody yells "Freebird" that they play the entire 20-minute solo
On an acoustic guitar.
on an acoustic
just-
guitar with no accompaniment.
and then everybody walks out.
Yes. Oh yes. Most definitely.
Lucia folds up her double bass because she can.
Right. Yeah.
And off I go.
And off you go. Do you know the band Parquet Courts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a new song out called Freebird 2.
Oh.
So that when someone yells Freebird at a Parquet Courts concert, they have a song to play.
Oh, that's
my God.
great.
It's great. It's
really
a great
funny.
idea. Yeah.
That's really funny.
So you guys, tonight is Rough Trade
Yep.
in
Yeah.
Brooklyn. You're off to Europe then? Is that where the
Yeah,
tour
in a
starts?
couple
Yeah.
weeks.
In a couple weeks, we're going to. Yeah, we start in England. Yeah.
Very nice. Drop in and see Stefan's brother Sam. He lives in
Oh,
London.
talking about that.
Yeah, we're just
Yeah.
talking about it.
Guys, I'm delighted you took time to stop by. It's great to see you again. The new album is terrific. Chains Are Broken. Thanks for being here.
Thanks
for having us.
Yeah, definitely.
This is Soundcheck.
'Cause I'm right where I belong.